How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Before I Forget. This is my video channel inspired by my Instagram channel, 1985 Road Dog. Today I want to talk about old rock stars. It's a weird thing that I've struggled with. Basically, bands, artists staying around, past their prime. It's something that didn't bother me for a long time. I mean, I'm a huge Rolling Stones fan. I've seen the Stones, 60, 75 times, a lot, starting in 1978, the first time I saw the Stones. I've pretty much seen every tour since, up until this last one. And it never really bothered me, the Stones, they get older, they keep going, they keep rocking. But the last couple times I saw the Stones, it was just, you could see it didn't sound bad. They've been doing it so long, they've got lots of backing musicians that can fill in the sound for them. And they've been doing it so long, they don't sound bad. But if you've seen the Stones in their prime, and you've seen Mick Jagger in his prime, and Keith Richards in his prime, it's just not the same. They're 80 years old. How can it be the same? So that was the gist of this. It was diving into old rock stars. There's different classifications, really. There's people like the Stones, or Paul McCartney, or Motley Crue, or bands like Kiss that don't need the money. So why do they keep doing it? They do it because of ego. They just can't stop. So, if you need the money, if you're a mid-level or a C-level band and that's how you earn a living and you need to go out and play, I get it. It's how you make a living. It's how you pay the bills. But if you're a big band with, millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, you don't need to keep gigging and playing shows, especially if you're past your prime. It's like Motley Crue is a good example. They've got tons of money, Motley Crue. But then again, you can measure it as like, well, what's enough? What's a lot? I don't know. To some people, $1 million is a lot of money. To some people, 500 million is a lot of money. I don't know how much money Motley Crue has, but they have plenty of money. So why do they keep going out there and doing it? It's ego. It's the ego thing. It's like we can keep going. Well, yeah, you can keep going, but you're terrible now. I mean, it's like if you've seen Motley Crue in their prime, Shout at the Devil, Theater of Pain, those years, they can't compete with that. There's no way they can compete with what they were when they were young, in their 20s. So why keep going? Ego. Why kick Mick Mars to the side and get in the new guy, John 5, whatever his name is? It's ego. They want to keep going because it feeds their ego. They can't stop themselves. It's the same thing with the Rolling Stones. I mean, Mick Jagger's worth how much? I don't know, $600, $700 million. I mean, him and Keith are loaded. Why do they keep doing it? It's not for the money. It's ego. It's ego for self-gratification for a guy like Mick Jagger. I mean, to know that he can still get a 21-year-old or a 20-year-old girl, it feeds his ego. I'm still popular. People still want me. It's ego. That's the only reason. Why would Kiss keep going? I mean, they've supposedly hung it up now, but we'll see. But I mean, this last Kiss tour, Paul Stanley couldn't even sing. His voice was gone, but they keep doing it. It's embarrassing. It's like, why keep going? If it's not for the money, it's for ego. Yeah, there's some people that like to play music, but those same people that like to play music would be playing music in a club if they had to. A lot of these, Kiss and bands of that nature, that's that status. They're not going to play a club. They're not in it for that. They're not in it to play. They're in it to have their ego stroked. And I'm not knocking it if you go see these bands. It's God bless. I mean, I'm older. I saw a lot of shows, a lot of bands in their prime. And you look at them now, and it's just like, I mean, the last time I saw the Stones, well, A, there's no Charlie Watts. So to me, that's not the Rolling Stones without Charlie Watts. He was a huge part of the band, the drummer, Charlie Watts, rest in peace. But I went to see them, no Charlie Watts. Keith has to sit down now a lot. He's got to sit on the drum riser, or they gave him a little spot to sit down because he can't stand very long. He's 80 years old. So Keith having to sit down, it's like, guys, enough now. Mick still moves around a lot. He's in great shape. He's 80 years old. But for him, he needs the adulation. He needs the people telling him how great he is, how great it was. He needs 20-year-old girls coming on to him. That's what Mick needs. It's like, but it's like, if you've never seen the Stones and you go see them, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. They sound good. But if you've go watch a video of this 1972 tour, Stones 72. I mean, with Mick Taylor playing guitar. There was no Ron Wood yet. That's the Rolling Stones, man. Rock and roll is about youth and energy and exuberance. It's not about, let's drag this band as long as we can and keep it going. Whether we sound good, look good or not, it doesn't matter. This is where I have a problem. Music has kind of hit the wall. I mean, yeah, there's still concerts and there's festivals and there's shows, but I don't know. Today's artists aren't making music for the same reasons they did in the 50s and 60s and 70s. Even in the 70s, people weren't forming bands and writing music and writing songs to be huge and to be celebrities and famous. They were writing music and songs and performing live because that's what gave them life. They needed to connect with people through writing a song, singing a song, playing a guitar. They needed that connection with people. They were writing songs from the heart, from the soul. It was a different thing. Started slipping away in the 80s, and now it's just like, and I'm sure there's talented musicians and artists and bands out there performing. I mean, I'll hear something every now and then that catches my ear. But they're not doing it for the same reasons. Most of them are doing it to be celebrities and, have millions of followers on TikTok and all this stuff. They're not making music for the same reasons that they did in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. They're just not. They're doing it to be celebrity, to get that endorsement from, Gucci or whoever. I mean, music's really hit the wall. Like I said, I do hear things here and there, but most of it is just disposable pop crap. And it's not even good pop. It's just like, I don't even know what it is. It's just, there's no soul in music anymore. Don't get me started on Taylor Swift. I mean, I don't understand that. I mean, her songs aren't really good. All her lyrics about the, losing boyfriends and boyfriend problems. So I guess it connects to like the 15-year-old girl out there. But the whole Taylor Swift phenomenon, it's like detrimental to society. It's like so many people, Swifties, follow Taylor Swift. But for what? I mean, in 25 years from now, do you think people are going to be singing Taylor Swift songs? I don't. Because the songs aren't good. People are connecting to those songs in the moment for, with the whole celebrity that she's concocted around herself, dating the football player and this whole thing. It's just like so media driven. It's such propaganda. She's not sexy. I mean, she's about as sexy as a pissing toad. I mean, so it's about, this cult it's a cult that she's, fashioned around herself, based around the boyfriend issue lyrics. And they're always pop stars, whoever. Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. I mean, before that, there were pop stars. I mean, it's just pop stars, but, The difference is those pop stars had really good songs that are still being played today. I don't know about Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears. I mean, that stuff, yeah, people still listen to those songs. They're from the late 90s, early 2000s. But, it just doesn't connect like songs from the 70s or the 60s, 80s even. I don't know. This music's hit a wall now. There's no more creativity, really. Everything's a rehash. Country music is like, what is that? I mean, I'm going to do a video about country music because I true old country music is in my heart. Those songs, there was meaning and feeling behind them. Today, I don't know what it is. It's jump the shark, as they used to say in the TV show Happy Days. Fonzie on his motorcycle jumped the shark. That's the way of saying that it's like reached its peak. I mean, when Beyonce starts doing country songs and all the lyrics of all the country songs are all the same. Got your short shorts on and the Daisy Dukes in the back of the truck with some Fireball. It's like there's no originality in country, anymore. It's been co-opted by, big business. And country music was a pure art form. If you look at rock and roll, what made rock and roll in the 50s? It came from country music. True country music. It came from R&B and soul music, blues, all those things fused together and made rock. Elvis rock, Jerry Lee Lewis rock and roll, all that came from country and soul music and blues music. So country was really a pure American art form that's now been just destroyed by, guys wearing trucker hats and singing about Fireball and Daisy Dukes and, taking the four-wheeler over the creek. It's just like, come on, man. It's just such formula now. So music has really lost the ability to lift you and touch your soul. I mean, and if music does touch you or touch your soul or lift you up, it's usually old music. There's nothing going forward, but I go backwards and listen to old stuff all the time. Things I've never heard before. I discover new music every day, from the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, even the 60s and 70s and the 80s. I mean, there's stuff I didn't hear or I missed. You go backwards, there's great, great music going backwards. I have a real spot in my heart for well-written songs from those decades and songs that touch your heart and your soul and will forever, because those songs were written for the right reasons. They were written from the heart and the soul to touch people and connect with people. Nothing connects today. Who's Taylor Swift music connecting with? In 25 years, those kids aren't going to be singing. Those kids will be grown and they won't be singing Taylor Swift songs. That I can tell you. But they'll still be singing songs from the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. That was the golden period. That's really what it comes down to. That's the golden period of music. From the 40s through the 90s. That's it. Golden period of American music. So go backwards, folks, and listen to all the good stuff, because today, I don't know, old rock stars out there half-assing it, putting on half-ass shows. They can't perform like they used to. They might be overweight, lost their hair, wearing a wig, whatever it might be, to keep going. It's just like, if you've got enough money, man, it's a disservice to the people and the fans to keep playing when you leave the show and you're like, that wasn't very good. And I paid, $800 for a ticket. It's like, that's the other thing. You're charging crazy money and they're not even performing up to snuff. It's like, I don't know. Baffles my mind. Old rock stars really shouldn't exist. I'm not saying they should be dead. I mean, I saw Paul McCartney in 2016. He couldn't even sing. He had no voice left. It's like, yeah, you're up there. You're standing. You're holding your bass. You're singing a Beatles song. Okay, great. But you don't sound very good. So what's the point? You got enough money. Ego, man. It's all ego. They can't stop themselves. Sad state of things, but look, if you're still going to concerts, enjoy them. Have fun. Go go backwards, man. Listen to the old songs because that's where it all is. That's where the soul and heart of American music is from the old days. Everything's hit a wall now. That's my rant about old rock stars. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Check out my Instagram, 1985 Road Dog. My book, Tales from the Gutter and Other Rock and Roll Shenanigans, is on sale via Amazon, softcover, hardcover, and Kindle. Thanks for tuning in. I'll speak to you guys soon. Be well. Ciao.